Peace, peace and blessings. Welcome in, it's Randy Harlequin. So today we're going to get straight to it, man. You know, for years, I personally, without even realizing it, always dim my light to make the people around me feel comfortable so that I won't make other people feel insecure. You know, you go around kind of soothing people's insecurities because you can tell, or I could tell at the time, that the certain people I was around, if I was to show my powers, if I was to show my gifts, if I was to show my light, it would make them feel inferior in a way. Now, at the time, really young, you thinking, you know, you don't want to make people around you feel less than. That's how my mindset was. But it was all self-sabotage all along. All self-sabotage. And, you know, it kills a lot of opportunities. It kills a lot of relationships. And you know how many women I met that once they really got to know me, they were like, wow, you're really different. You're really great. Why are you so humble? My humility was a reflection of playing small. Now, I couldn't figure out how to fix this, how to fix that. How do I get out of that? But it was due to even family environments. Some of y'all are raised in family environments where you can't really be yourself in a household. You can't really say what you really want to say. You can't really express what you really want to express. You can't say exactly what's on your mind, right? You were suppressed. I was suppressed for a long time. So that's where it came from. You know what I'm saying? But as you go through the phases of life, school, jobs, relationships, dating, you realize you're not really getting what you deserve, and you're also not giving to the world what you could be giving it because you're playing small. And I remember this the movie with Samuel Jackson. I think it's Coach Carter, where he kept asking the player, "What is your deepest fear? What is your deepest fear?" And he just came in class. It's like, your deepest fear is not that you're inadequate. Your deepest fear is that you're powerful beyond measure. And that was my thing too. It's like, man, I know, I can tell deep down, I got a lot of gifts, talents, I got a lot of light, a lot of knowledge, but something in me was like, I don't want to make the people around me feel small. But I realized after a while, it's not your job. That is not your job to soothe the insecurities of others. Because now you lose. It takes away from you. And so to get out of this space, to get out of the headspace of playing small, you just got to be more selfish. You got to be selfish. You got to walk down the street with your shoulders back, your chest out, and your head up, and not really care about how it makes other people feel. Now, some folks love it. When I started to tap into my powers and really embrace a lot of the unique qualities or positive attributes about myself, I would say, you know, it empowered some people. But for some of the people, yeah, some people's going to make them feel the type of way. Some people, their mentality is going to be, oh, so who you think you is now? Who you think? You know what I'm saying? Some people, they get offended at your light, at your confidence, of you really stepping into your power, because they don't have that. They're lacking in their self-esteem. They're overwhelmed by their own insecurities. So you daring to step into your power in a world where the society socially engineers people to be small, is like, who gave you the permission? What audacity do you have? They think you need permission. You don't need anybody's permission, man. I'm gonna tell you this right now. For those of you watching, going about your day, trying to follow a dream, trying to step into the best version of yourself, just trying to be a better person, just trying to get more out of life. You deep down inside, you feel like you deserve more. You're right. And you don't need anybody's permission but God. I get my permission from the Most High. Just to be honest. If you worry about the opinions of men, the opinions of people, you'll always be small, because playing small pleases people. Because people want you to be small so that you'll never surpass them. And that's going to happen in relationships too. Like when you step into your power, when you realize that you can't afford to play small anymore. When you know you deserve more and there's opportunities and things out there in the world that that not only that you have the opportunity to get, but that you deserve and that you should claim it, you should own it. When you start walking with that level of ownership, like I deserve more, I deserve the best. When you start loving yourself in that way and really stop dimming your light, you really express what you want to express. You wear what you want to wear. You start saying what you want to say. You know what I'm saying? You start really enjoying yourself and embracing the uniqueness that God has given to you, that God gifted to you, right? When you start tapping into your power, man, it's going to make a lot of your old relationships, some of them are going to sour. Some of them are going to try to pull you back down. I had friends that try to do that. And they're not really friends, but for the sake of conversation of us identifying these individuals, I have to say friends, old friends, right? People that don't want you to be the best version of yourself, they're not your friend. Those are people that sabotage you on a mental level, on an emotional level, even on a spiritual level. They want you to do good just as long as you're not doing better than them. And that's a problem. That's not a friend. That's not even somebody you should associate with. Your friends should be celebrating you when you do better. They should be, you know what I'm saying, hit you up, so happy for you. They should be supporting and applauding and praising you. You know what I'm saying? But if you're around folks that you can feel they get uneasy by you starting to stand up for yourself in terms of stepping into your power. Me personally, I grew up pretty quiet, even shy, very introverted. Nowadays, I'm more ambiverted or extroverted because I discovered these different parts about myself in isolation. I discovered, like, man, I'm not isolated, but I'm not as introverted as I thought. You know what I'm saying? But what kept me introverted, quote unquote, is being around people or in environments where I felt like I had to shrink to fit in, to be comfortable. And that's why sometimes isolation is a good thing, because it reminds you of who you are. You don't really forget who you are, but sometimes with the world we live in, it could sometimes make you forget how powerful you are. So it's good to keep your energy clean or clear by being in isolation from time to time. And I was just in some environments that made me feel like, damn, I got to be a lesser version of myself in order to fit in. No, you don't need to fit into nothing. That's the point. You don't need to fit in. When you walk into rooms, you don't need to fit into the room. The room needs to adjust to you. You don't need to adjust to other people and their temperature. Always be yourself, you know, and if people don't like you for being who you are, you shouldn't be around them. Those are the people that you shouldn't be around, because eventually they might sabotage you. They might get in your way. They might affect different parts of your life. And you're like, damn, why the hell was I around these people? That's one of the signs. One of the main signs that you should not be around certain people is if they have a problem with you just being yourself. And so I got out of those environments and I started to thrive. I started to attract. I started to become more, because it's almost like if you have bees in a jar or flies in a jar, once you take the lid off, right, early enough, the flies or the bees, they could just flourish out of there. But if you stay around people that make you feel small for so long, eventually you'll stay at a certain level. Or if you keep playing small, being humble, you'll stay at a certain level. You got to get away from anybody. You got to stop. Don't even associate with anyone who tries to limit your potential. Because like I said, you deserve the best. You wasn't on this planet to play small. You wasn't here to be humble, a humble peasant. You know, you're divine. God has abundance in store for you, right? And so you self-sabotage, man. You lose a lot of opportunities and you lose yourself because you're compromising yourself to fit in with people. Once you start compromising, you get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you end up being nothing. You end up being a shell of yourself. And I experienced this myself. I could talk to y'all this way because I experienced some of this. But once you stop playing small, once you get away from environments that make you feel like you got to shrink to fit in, man, you just start taking off. You start experiencing things, and most importantly, how you see yourself starts to change. You start seeing yourself for who you actually are versus this smaller version of yourself that these environments try to make you feel like you have to be in order to survive or fit in with them. Don't self-sabotage. Even still to this day, I'll be like reminding myself, you know what I'm saying? Because like in the world we live in, it's like society, again, they try to socially engineer you to just accept breadcrumbs, accept the bare minimum, accept less. While the people that's running everything in the world, they got billions, trillions in assets, but billions in liquid cash and all type of, so many things going on. So that's the key. I think to, was really my level up and really my glow up and really me stepping into my power and creating a better life and better situation for myself. Don't play small. It's not your job. And if people feel offended by you stepping into your power and you building that confidence within yourself and walking with your head up and your shoulders back, knowing you deserve what the opportunities that's in the world for you, you shouldn't be around those people. You shouldn't even be associated with them people. I got to talk to you this way because I love you. So let me know what you think about the video. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And don't play small. Or you self-sabotaging. Peace.